Hello. Welcome to Car Expert YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. This car is mechanically identical to the Q30, so there are some things we can gloss over. Both are powered by a transverse-mounted 2.0-liter Mercedes inline-4. It's a turbocharged, direct-injection gasoline engine, and it sure feels like one. It sounds like a rock tumbler full of nickels and runs out of breath at about 5,000 revolutions per minute. All versions make 208 horsepower at 5,500 revolutions per minute and 258 pounds-to-foot of torque between 1,200 and 4,400 revolutions per minute, more than adequate but less than thrilling. The engine sends power along through a dim-witted 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox, which occasionally got crossed up in sport mode and is a snooze in eco. Even though Infiniti did the throttle and transmission calibration, it's a very German driving experience. Torque comes on quick and in volume, a bit like a beer garden server bringing an armful of lager all at once. After the first round, the beer doesn't come at quite the same generous rate, but you're far enough along not to mind. The optional front-biased all-wheel drive system is there, allegedly, although we didn't, and most buyers outside of the snow belt won't have occasion to notice it working. Likewise, there are mild suspension and wheel size differences between the three. We only drove the AWD and Sport versions, and were legitimately surprised to find the 1.2-inch ride height increase palpable. Otherwise, it's a Washington between 60 AWD and 62% FWD of the car's weight is over the front axle, limits are limbo bar low, and there's not much incentive to push hard on the QX30. If you want a full serving of adrenal aggression, the mechanically related AMG GLA 45 is only several thousand more than a fully loaded QX30. The styling hasn't changed much from the car's Q30 pupil phase. Swoopy creases and exaggerated character lines form an Infiniti chrysalis for the German mechanicals. The AWD version's minuscule lift manages to make the wheel arch gaps seem immense, while the unique front fascia's faux skid plate won't convince anyone of increased all-terrain prowess. It's artificial crossover enhancement, and it isn't nearly as handsome as the base or sport fascias. The car was born to be a hatch, and looks most natural in the lower, wider-seeming sport trim. From the outside, there isn't any indication that this isn't a whole-hog Infiniti proposition. Inside, it's another story. Anyone stepping out of a late-model Mercedes into a QX30 will notice that the majority of the switchgear and the instrument cluster are cribbed right from the Daimler parts bin. The infotainment system and center console controller are Infiniti bits, mainly because they were needed to work with Infiniti's safety systems, like the around-view monitor bird's-eye camera that activates when reversing. Among its Japanese competition, there are not many small and premium cues to be had, and maybe that's where Infiniti has the greatest room for conquest. It's far more entertaining than the aging Lexus CT Hybrid, cheaper than the larger Lexus NX, and considerably more stylish than the Acura RDX and its chrome beak. In this corner of the market, it's Infiniti's game to lose. It doesn't seem like it should matter what we call the QX30, or who built what portion of the vehicle. It's a mashup, sure, but not a disharmonious one because of it, so what does it matter? I think the QX30's mixed parentage shouldn't, not because I love the powertrain or the complicated exterior styling, I don't, but because it's an interesting choice rather than an obvious one. Infiniti has cast a line into the pond, and we're just as anxious as anyone to see if consumers respond to the bait.